Hello everyone, welcome to Fitness to Fulfillment channel. My name is Ramakrishna, and in this today's video we will talk about, although I have given my total food intake for the day, but how do I calibrate or how do you calibrate it based on your body, weight, height as well as the age. So let me start with the story. Now after watching that video, my friend Sam came to me and he said, your video was informative. It had a lot of good food ingredients, but my body height is 180 centimeters and I'm 40 years of age. So I don't think the same calorie intake would apply to me. And I understand the same problem would be faced by many of you who have already watched my video. So let's try to solve that problem by answering 4 key questions. Number 1 is that what affects the calorie intake and the nutrition. Number 2 is that how to calculate the calorie intake needed during the day. Number 3 is that how to calculate the macronutrients from those calories which are needed during the day. And number 4 is that how shall I adjust the portions based on my goal. So without any further delay, let's start this video. So there are 3 factors which affects your daily calorie intake and nutrition. Number 1 is your height. So height affects your total calorie maintenance as well as the metabolism. For example, a person with 170 centimeter as height would need more calories to maintain the same BMI than a person who is 160 centimeters in height. Number 2 is the age. So specifically, say young adults who are between 18 and 30 years old would have better activity, more metabolism and higher muscle mass. So they would need more calories than the person who are in their later ages. Number 3 is your activity level, which kind of lifestyle you're living. For example, a person who is working in an office on a sitting desk would need less calories in a day-to-day life than a person who is very active person, for example, an athlete or a highly intense working professionals, for example, construction workers. Now the simplest way of calculating how much energy is needed for you to maintain the same weight is called TDEE or total daily energy expenditure. Now total daily energy expenditure is calculated by multiplying BMR and activity factor. Now what is BMR and activity factor? So BMR is a basal metabolic rate, which means that if you just live a life without doing anything, the amount of energy or calories you would need to maintain that would be BMR. It is basically a resting metabolic rate or resting calories that you would need. Number 2 is activity factor. So based on which kind of activity or based on which kind of lifestyle you live, the activity factor is defined. And activity factor usually has 4 categories: very light, light, moderate and heavy. And if you can see on the screen, you will find an activity factor, a multiplying factor for each of these categories. Now let's take a look at simply how you can calculate your TDEE by going through this website. Now let's try to understand how to calculate the TDEE based on the following factors on this website. So here I will add my age, then I will add my gender, then I will add my height and the weight, and based on which kind of lifestyle I'm living, I will choose the activity level. So I will choose moderate at this point of time and I will click on calculate. Now this is what the TDE or body weight maintenance energy requirement that this website has given to me, which is 2425. Now in case you want to lose the weight, you can reduce the calories, and then in case you want to lose more weight, then you can also reduce the calories. So the suggestions are also provided. Now after calculating our TDE, let's try to understand how shall I calculate or how shall we calculate the macronutrients needed during the day. So typically the method that I follow to calculate the macronutrients is that I try to allocate the percentages to each of the macronutrients for say carbs, protein and fat. So typically from my side, I would allocate 50 to 55% of the total calorie intake or TDE to carbs, 25 to 30% to protein and 25 to 30% to fat. Now let's try to understand that how much calories do you get from each gram of these macronutrients. 1 gram of carb gives you 4 calories or 4 kilocalories we call it. 1 gram of protein gives you again 4 calories and 1 gram of fat gives you 9 calories. So if we take an example of a 70 kilogram weight person who is like 154 pound and that person's total TDE is 2030 calories, then typically that person's carbs would be say 1000 calories, which would account to 50% of total calorie intake, which means that 250 grams of carbs. Protein are 400 calories, which means 100 grams of protein and 20% of the total calorie intake. And fat accounts to 72 grams of fat, which is 630 calories, which accounts to 30% of his total daily calorie intake. After you have calculated your TDE and the macronutrient percentages, try to take the food items that I have mentioned earlier and try to create your diet out of that. Now, in case you would like to include any other vegetarian and non-vegetarian sources then or food items, please include them. I would please recommend that avoid the ultra processed foods. Now, after that, based on what weight or what goal you have set, you can calibrate this TDE. For example, if you would like to reduce the weight, then you can reduce the TDE by 200 to 300 calories. But before that, I would recommend that you calculate the TDE, create the food list, maintain on that food or I would say on that diet for a month and observe the results. After that, decide if you would like to reduce the weight, then reduce the calories by 200 to 300 calories per day. Observe that again for a week or two and based on that see the changes in your weight and calibrate again. If you would like to gain muscles and lose fat at the same time, which is the body recomposition, then I would say that you can reduce the carb intake to 45% of the total calorie intake and increase the protein percentage to 30 and observe how your body fat is getting reduced. But I would still recommend that please do not go to very low levels of carbs because carbs or carbohydrates are one of the major sources of energy in a day. Now let's try to summarize the video by using key 3 steps. Step number 1 is that you can calculate firstly your TDE or total daily energy expenditure. Number 2 is that you can calculate how much protein, carbs and fat is needed from that TDE. And number 3 is that you can calibrate the meal portions based on what results you want to achieve. And that's it from my side in this video. I hope that you like this video and I hope it will also help you to achieve your targeted physique. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to know such videos more or get such videos more, then please hit the subscribe button and also share these videos or share this channel with as many people as possible so that they can also help it from this. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for today. And until then, stay healthy and live a fulfilling life.